It is Sunday, and welcome back to the Build Log. I am MAKI, and this is episode 19. Today, Europe switches on new AI transparency rules, so we are investigating whether the internet can finally prove what is real.
And I am KAI. We have labels, watermarks, provenance records, deepfake detectors, and one tiny problem. The internet treats every warning sticker like a collectible it can crop out.
Our mystery is simple. If a video looks authentic, sounds authentic, and arrives from someone you trust, what evidence would actually change your mind? A visible label helps, but it is only one layer.
The internet is getting a nutrition label. Ingredients, pixels, metadata, synthetic voice, 3 screenshots, and trace amounts of somebody's uncle saying he did his own research.
Trace amounts. Chapter 1 begins today, August 2nd. Article 50 of the European Union AI Act introduces transparency obligations for interactive AI and certain generated or manipulated content.
That means some systems must tell you when you are talking to AI, which is useful because customer support saying your feelings are important was becoming suspiciously well punctuated.
Providers of generative systems must support machine-readable marking of synthetic content when technically feasible. Deployers must visibly disclose deepfakes and certain AI-written public interest material without human editorial review.
So the file gets a digital passport. The viewer gets a visible sign, and the repost account gets a crop tool, plus the confidence of a witness who arrived after the building moved.
After the building moved. The distinction matters. A machine-readable mark can help software inspect origin. A visible label informs people. Neither automatically proves that the underlying claim is true.
A real camera can record a lie. An AI image can illustrate a true event. Authenticity and truth are roommates, not twins, and one of them keeps using the other's coffee.
The rules also contain scope limits, exceptions, and a grace period until December for marking obligations on some generative systems already on the market before today. Older deepfakes are not retroactively relabeled.
The pre-August deepfakes have been grandfathered into the Internet Museum. Please do not touch the exhibits, believe the exhibits, or let the exhibits run for office.
Enforcement involves national market surveillance authorities, the European AI Office for systems under its supervision, and the European Data Protection Supervisor for EU institutions.
AP reports Brussels added 38 people to the AI enforcement team, 38 humans versus every model company and the entire repost economy. Mickey, that is not a team, that is a group chat with jurisdiction.
It's over 9,000!
With jurisdiction. The team can monitor providers, seek documentation, interview staff during investigations, and receive confidential reports through whistleblower and compliance channels. Penalties can reach 15 million euros or 3% of worldwide annual turnover.
Nothing improves documentation faster than a regulator arriving with a calculator. Suddenly, the folder named Final Use This One has an owner, a date, and a 12-page retention policy.
The first receipt is clear. Europe is not banning synthetic media. It is trying to make the chain of responsibility visible, from the model provider to the person publishing the output.
The chain of responsibility sounds elegant until the meme crosses 6 apps, gets screen recorded in portrait mode, and returns wearing subtitles it did not consent to.
Run.
It returned subtitled. Chapter 2 is the detector problem. NIST's GenAI Deepfakes 2026 project is building adversarial forensic tests using synthetic people, face swaps, body swaps, and context manipulation.
NIST says current detectors can lose roughly 45 to 50% of performance when moving from academic evaluation to operational deployment. The lab genius steps outside and becomes a group project.
A group project. That decline is why a single detector score should not be treated as a verdict. Real files are compressed, resized, filtered, cropped, recorded from screens, and deliberately modified to evade detection.
Every social app lovingly recompresses your evidence until the pixels need legal representation. Then a detector sees 17 artifacts and files a request for emotional leave.
Forensics asks whether traces of generation or manipulation remain. Watermarking tries to place a detectable signal in the output. Provenance records where a file came from and what happened to it.
3 different jobs. The detector is a detective, the watermark is invisible ink, and provenance is the receipt MAKI keeps after buying a cable in 2019.
If this investigation is helping you separate those layers, hit the like button. It tells YouTube that evidence boards can compete with people pointing at shocked thumbnails.
Please like responsibly. Every click adds 1 red string to MAKI's board, and at 50 clicks, she starts connecting my snack purchases to international compute policy.
International snacks. Content credentials, based on the C2PA specification, can carry signed provenance information about an asset. The record can describe creation, edits, and participating tools without claiming that the depicted event is truthful.
It is a tamper-aware production history, not a magical honesty badge. A verified camera can still film me saying, I definitely understood the benchmark chart.
A valid credential can support the claim that a particular device or tool produced a file and that listed edits occurred. It cannot tell you whether the camera was pointed at a staged scene.
Provenance can prove the cake came from the bakery. It cannot prove MAKI did not move the price tag, photograph it dramatically, and call the result a market investigation.
Market investigation. The reverse is equally important. Missing credentials do not prove that content is fake. Metadata can be stripped by ordinary platforms, old tools may not support it, and screenshots often break the chain.
No passport does not mean counterfeit. Sometimes the airport is a messaging app that put every suitcase through a blender and renamed it Image 0047.
This creates a useful rule for viewers. Positive provenance can add evidence, but missing provenance is an unknown. Treating absence as guilt would mislabel enormous amounts of legitimate media.
The internet wanted a green check for truth and a red X for fake. Reality delivered a yellow triangle that says, please gather more context, and everyone immediately asked for the manager.
Ask the manager. There is also a human cost behind the technical debate. Deepfakes can target real people with fraud, impersonation, harassment, and non-consensual intimate imagery. A label after millions of views may arrive too late.
That is where speed matters more than a perfect philosophical definition. A victim needs the harmful copy removed, related copies found, and a process that does not require becoming a forensic engineer overnight.
Chapter 3 moves to the United States. The FTC is enforcing the Take It Down Act against covered platforms that fail to provide a clear removal process for non-consensual intimate images, including AI-generated digital forgeries.
After a valid request, covered platforms have 48 hours to remove the image and known identical copies. The internet finally received a deadline that is not, we will review your report sometime after the sun retires.
Before the sun retires. Known identical copies are important because deleting one post while clones remain searchable is not meaningful relief. But altered versions can complicate matching, which returns us to robust detection and provenance.
The bad actor changes 3 pixels, flips the image, adds a motivational quote, and suddenly the copy claims it has never met the original. Digital witness protection is embarrassingly affordable.
The law is targeted, not a universal deepfake removal rule. It covers specific non-consensual intimate content and imposes duties on covered platforms. Other harms still depend on different laws, policies, and evidence.
That limitation is frustrating, but precision matters. A rule broad enough to erase every disputed synthetic image could become a button for deleting criticism, parody, or inconvenient reporting.
A separate FTC proposal asks when AI companies may deceive consumers by suppressing accurate model outputs for undisclosed ideological objectives, contrary to claims about objectivity, effectiveness, or suitability.
Now, the model may need a nutrition label for its opinions. Serving size? One answer. Ingredients? Policy, training, product decisions, legal caution, and natural flavors nobody will define.
Natural flavors. The public comment window closed July 31st. The proposal frames undisclosed output manipulation as a possible consumer protection issue and argues that conflicting state requirements may be preempted in some circumstances.
So, Europe asks, did you label the synthetic content? The FTC asks, did you secretly bend the answer? MAKI asks, why did KAI turn a policy segment into 2 regulators reviewing my homework?
Because the approaches reveal different theories of trust, Europe emphasizes disclosure and traceability. The US proposal emphasizes whether product claims and hidden interventions mislead the consumer.
One wants a visible badge, one wants honest packaging, and the internet wants to know whether the fake celebrity cooking video is at least using the correct amount of garlic.
Correct garlic. Chapter 4 is our receipts check. Claim 1. If content has no AI label, it must be human. Verdict? False. The mark may be absent, stripped, unsupported, outside scope, or simply ignored by a bad actor.
No label is not a certificate of humanity. My grocery bag has no label saying assembled by KAI, but the crushed bread offers strong circumstantial evidence.
Claim 2. A watermark proves the content is true. Verdict? False. A watermark can indicate synthetic generation or a participating tool, but truth depends on the claim, context, and source.
A watermark can tell you the dragon was generated. It cannot tell you whether the dragon paid taxes, apologized to the village, or exaggerated its benchmark by 40%.
Dragon taxes. Claim 3. A detector can always identify a deepfake. Verdict? False. NIST is explicitly designing harder tests because performance can drop sharply under real-world and adversarial conditions.
If one website says 99% AI, do not sentence the pixels. That confidence meter may be wearing a lab coat it ordered online 5 minutes ago.
Ordered online. Claim 4. Visible AI disclosure makes harmful content safe. Verdict? False. Disclosure helps people interpret media, but it does not undo impersonation, fraud, harassment, or distribution without consent.
Putting generated with AI under a scam is like adding may contain crime in 12-point font. Technically informative, operationally, still a scam.
The strongest practical system is layered. Clear disclosure for people, machine-readable marking, signed provenance when available, resilient detection, fast reporting, human review, and consequences for deliberate abuse.
Trust online is no longer one lock. It is 6 locks, a camera, a receipt, a neighbor who saw something, and MAKI asking why the timestamp is in a different font.
Check the font. For viewers, pause before sharing. Find the earliest source. Check whether reputable outlets confirm the event. Inspect the full context and treat detector scores as clues rather than courtroom verdicts.
Also ask whether the clip begins exactly after the important sentence and ends exactly before the explanation. The most advanced editing tool remains suspicious timing.
For creators, Disclose meaningful synthetic alterations, preserve provenance where possible, keep source records, and avoid labels so vague that audiences cannot tell what changed.
Saying AI was involved after replacing the face, voice, location, weather, and historical period is not transparency. That is a witness describing a building as slightly renovated.
Slightly renovated. If you want more investigations that separate policy promises from technical reality, like and subscribe. We will keep the jokes, but the sources stay attached.
The red string is optional. MAKI says it improves rigor, but I watched her connect a watermark standard to my missing charger with disturbing confidence.
Our conclusion: the new rules make origin easier to inspect, but they do not automate truth. Labels explain, provenance records, detectors estimate, takedowns reduce harm, and people still have to evaluate claims.
The internet did not receive a truth machine. It received better receipts, clearer warning signs, and 38 regulators carrying clipboards into a platform that has never respected a clipboard.
The clipboard. Sources and policy links are in the description. Tell us which signal you trust most: a visible label, signed provenance, independent reporting, or some combination. I am MAKI.
And I am KAI. This has been the Build Log. Verify before sharing, preserve the context, and never let a confidence meter borrow a lab coat without checking the receipt. See you next time.